Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Looking at the vegetarian and vegan meals, it's one way, as we say, to increase longevity and life. The other is to protect Mother Earth and the environment. And we have someone here that's going to be teaching us about this, why these two things go hand in hand, balance the earth, balance humanity and all living beings. This is Granetta Coleman. She's a certified food for life instructor of Rooted Dish. And we're going to be talking about the grain train. And I'm very interested to see this. Granetta, welcome. And again, going to this Learn, Cook, Live, you came up with this motto. Tell us what that means and why those three words put together.
Well, thank you for having me here. This is really fun. And the reason why I put Learn, Cook, Live together is because I want people to learn the right foods to eat to live a healthy, long life. I want them to cook those foods because when you cook your own food, you control your health. Mm-hmm. And then I want you to just go out and live. Do what you love to do. Be with your grandchildren. Go for a bike ride. Play with your kids. Have fun with your friends.
But the whole thing about it, I think comes out in the class that we are in together down at George Washington University Hospital, is that people should really have a medicine or pharmaceutical-free life as well. So it goes back to that, what I learned in 4-H is food is medicine, you are what you eat. How does that fit into this Learn, Cook, Live?
Absolutely. Well, it fits in because when you eat the right foods, your body is healthy. And when you eat the wrong foods, your body becomes sick and you actually have to go to pharmaceuticals to try to help unclog your arteries or lower your blood pressure. So if you eat the right things, you won't need that.
Now, looking at this power plate, you called it power plate. Why call it that?
It's called the power plate because if you eat these foods, you will have health power, you will have brain power, you will have actual physical power. And this is a plant-based meal plan. So you need all these 4 foods. You need legumes, you need fruits, you need whole grains, and you need vegetables.
Yeah, but I don't see any meat or any animal proteins in here. So how am I going to switch, particularly being in America or most of the world? A lot of our foods are based on animal proteins and carbohydrates and all the other mixtures that we need. But you're here to attest that if we do the fruits, the grains, the vegetables, and legumes, we have everything we need.
Absolutely. You can get a balanced, healthy diet from plants, and it's called a vegan diet. And a lot of people are finding that this is the way that they're going to live longer. This is the way that they're going to live without medications. And this is the way that they're going to, help their children live longer. We are the first generation where some of our kids are developing diseases that they shouldn't have until they're older or shouldn't have at all.
No, you shouldn't have it all. I was going to say the grain train. What is the grain train?
So the grain train, I actually wanted to help explain what nutritious whole grains are. And basically, this grain train shows you that the first 4 sections of the train are green. That means green for eat as many of these as you want. The next 3 sections of the train are orange, which means eat them sparingly. And the last car on the grain train is the caboose. It has very little nutritional value, and it's red for don't eat these foods if you can help it.
Mm-hmm. Or the absolute minimum.
Minimum, yes.
Okay, let's go into the green side of the train.
So the green side of the train is the most nutritious. The very front of the train is the engine. That's where you're going to get your most nutritious grains. They're intact whole grains. I'll get into specifics later.
Okay.
The next are cut whole grains, then rolled whole grains, and then shredded.
Now we're going to see some of these beautiful foods, and I've actually tasted quite a few of the ones that we're going to be seeing. So I want to attest they actually taste good. Besides, they're just pretty.
Yes, so the intact whole grains include anything from brown rice to wild rice. They include the barley that's in this salad. They include quinoa that is made into taste just like stuffing for Thanksgiving. We did that in class one time. And so these are the most nutritious grains. You should eat the most of these.
When you say intact, what does the intact actually mean?
So the intact means the farmer harvests the grain, the wheat plant, or whatever it is, wheat, barley, rice. They harvest it, and they basically just clean it, and then they package it. So they really haven't added anything like fat or sugar or salt, and they haven't taken anything away, like stripping away the brand.
Okay, great. All right, let's go to these.
So the next 3 sections of the grain train are your cut grains, which include what I'm showing is bulgur. They include steel cut oats. So those are cut grains. And then your classic old-fashioned rolled oats, which make delicious oatmeal or cookies, are the rolled grains. And then shredded grains are usually like a shredded puff that you would have as cereal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's interesting you have the shredded in here. I've never even thought of that. Cut and rolled, yes. I never thought of the shredded as being part of the green in the train. Are these made in a similar way so there's less processing, less additives in the shredded?
Yes, you have to read the package, because the shredded could be shredded and there could be sugar and salt added, or they could be shredded and there could be nothing added. So when you eat those, you want to definitely read the label on the package.
Got it. Okay. All right, now we're in the orange section. So, woo, not sure we really want to be here, but probably some decent food here. Tell us about it.
Well, the orange section is where most people want to hang out on the grain train, because the ground grains are actually anything made out of flour. And then you have the flaked grains and the puffed grains. And I'll show you examples of all of these, but you want to eat these sparingly.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So the ground grains include anything, those I'm showing you a vegan waffle made out of whole wheat flour. The noodles in that jar salad are soba noodles. So they're made out of a ground buckwheat. And then this is a vegan pizza made out of whole wheat flour crust with some seitan sausage and red peppers and nutritional yeast sprinkled on top.
Now, you said something about sausage. I thought we gotten away from the animal proteins.
Well, this is seitan sausage. So it's actually made from flour.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And it's meat-free.
Okay, great. I knew that, but I thought I'd better bring this out for our guests so they'll know what
Absolutely.
we're really talking about.
So,
and then to the flaked.
So the flake grain, yeah. So the flake grains are, bran flake cereal is a great example. And you, again, just like the shredded, you need to make sure that there hasn't been a whole lot of salt or sugar or fat added into them somehow.
I want to go back to this and then forward here. Looking at the ground and then also the flaked, what puts it into the orange section of the train? Why is it not part of the green section?
So the further you get towards the closer you get to the caboose, the more processed the food is. So instead of just cleaning the grain and packaging it, they have done a lot to these grains. And every time you cut it, every time you do an additional process to it, you lose nutrition.
So it actually comes out in the processing then, the actual nutrients. So it could be the fiber, it could be amino acids, could be even vitamins and minerals that actually are being leached out of the grains.
Exactly.
I see. Okay. Puffed. Why is that so bad? Because you think that's just a lot of air put into it.
Well, I mean, it's been processed a lot. I don't know how they puff these things up, but they remove a lot of good things when they do. And because they're so light, you can almost tell if you hold a handful of rice in your hand and then you hold a handful of puff rice, they're light. The puffs are lighter, so there's something missing.
Yeah. Okay. Now, getting to refined grains. Tell us about that.
Oh, the caboose. You want to try and stay away from the caboose. So refined grains are made out of white products. So they've taken whole grain flour and they've stripped away the nutrition. And so these are the things that a lot of people eat before they know how to get off of the caboose. So it would be white pasta, white flour, and so these products, the croissants, the muffins, the white pasta, those have all been made out of refined flour.
Now you're taking away all the fun things to eat, though. So can we leave up the red caboose for just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. What can we substitute out of this? So we're getting now to the orange and maybe even into the green area, but still have something that looks like this and may have similar taste.
Well, you can absolutely transition from a white flour to a wheat flour. So you can switch from white pasta to wheat pasta. You can switch from a animal-based muffin to a wheat muffin. So that will at least move you into the orange section. You can transition from a refined croissant to a whole wheat croissant. I've never had one, but I'm sure someone is making them somewhere. And that at least would get you into the orange section. But then you still want to try to get as many meals as you can in the green section.
Right. Now, looking at this pasta, we had some green pasta that was made out of vegetables, and then we're going to go away from that. But I like this image. Would that take us into the green, or would that be into the orange section if we're making it out of carrots or some kind of green plant that's fresh, and you bring it in and then somehow you turn it into a noodle, which we actually had in our class.
Yes. So if you actually take a noodle, if you take a zucchini and you cut it into a spiralized noodles, which are very popular right now, not even on the grain train. Power plate, you're in the vision. Great as well.
Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. Refined grains, we're going to go out on this. We understand about that. But staying away from these refined grains, how does that help our health?
So actually, it looks like the heading on this one was shifted. These are actually made of whole grains.
Oh, these are whole grain.
So these are whole grain examples. So tortilla chips made out of corn, brown rice that is paired with sauteed vegetables and tofu. And then there was the barley salad. And I think the last slide was a quinoa cake. Quinoa, form it into a patty and saute it with some cooking spray and turn that into a quinoa cake.
Okay, fantastic. This is Granetta Coleman of Rooted Dish. Thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.